This project was one for the books, a true test of patience, problem solving, and sheer muscle. In Fremont, California, we took on the challenge of restoring a natural earth bottom pond that had been swallowed by years of muck and decay.
Okay, this is day one. We're gonna start this project in Fremont, and it's gonna be like a kind of like a mix of Aquascape pond. It's just that we're not gonna put a liner because it's a natural pond that is the water just comes from the bottom of the surface. And today we are gonna start draining it out and start taking out all the plants.
At first glance, it seemed like a straightforward job. The pond looked about 3 feet deep, nothing we hadn't seen before, but the moment we started draining it, reality hit. One side was as expected, but the other? A bottomless pit of thick, murky sludge. Our first challenge was simple: find solid ground. But that was easier said than done. We kept digging and digging, the muck swallowing our boots, our tools, and our patience. Every time we thought we had made progress, another section collapsed, pulling us right back into the struggle. Finally, after what felt like an endless battle, we hit solid ground, a bentonite base that would become the foundation of this transformation. That moment was like striking gold. But the pond wasn't done fighting us yet. As fast as we could remove water, more kept seeping in. It was a constant battle, requiring multiple pumps running nonstop just to keep the area dry enough to work. Every hour, we adjusted, adapted, and found new ways to outsmart the pond. Once we gained control, we moved on to the real magic: rebuilding. Before anything else, we installed the wetland filtration system, one of the most important features of this project. Using Aquascape components, we built a wetland that would naturally filter the water, keeping the pond crystal clear and thriving for years to come. Next, we shaped the intake bay, which would help manage water flow and prevent debris buildup. These weren't just add-ons, they were the key to making this pond function properly and stay beautiful long-term.
This is week second, yeah. Let me show you what we have so far accomplished. And as you guys can see, pretty much we have the footprint for the wetland is pretty much completed. And then we have all this rocking the bottom part. We are gonna start building the wetland and the waterfalls in this area, and then put all the lights, all the stuff that we need. Once that's completed, then we're gonna go to stage 2, which is going on the other side. As you guys can see, it's kind of like a mess over here because a lot of construction, a lot of going on, but you know what? When this is all completed, it's gonna be way better than what it looks right now. So we have Ulises with us.
What's up?
All the way from Michigan.
Wisconsin.
No, Wisconsin. Actually, all the way from LA this week.
Yeah.
He just arrived today. He went to spend the weekend over there.
Yeah.
Go see some family, visit some friends, like Hermes, and
Eat some food.
eat some food. That's for sure.
Then came the heavy lifting. We rolled in massive boulders, some small enough to carry, others weighing over a ton. One by one, we carefully placed them, creating a natural, rugged structure that looked like it had been there forever. Every rock had to be set just right, not just for aesthetics, but for stability.
Today is day 10 on this project, and as you guys can see, this is the progress so far. I mean, we just have right now we just pump in the water just to see a little bit of the waterfalls. The water level is gonna be someplace over there, like maybe 9-10 inches from the top of those waterfalls. And This phase is kind of complete this size. So yesterday we started digging all of this and all of this. So our plan is today to clear all of this crap.
Alongside the boulders, we laid about 30,000 pounds of cobblestone, adding texture and depth to the pond's design. Day after day, Ulysses and I worked through long hours, covered in mud, sweat dripping, backs aching. In total, we moved around 100,000 pounds of stone, shaping the landscape into something entirely new.
Roja! Penal! Today is day 20 of this project. We have some couple unexpected, not changes, but it became a little bit deeper in this area than what anticipated. So it took us more rock. We had to bring more boulders. So what we did is we got a moss rock, which is locally, and we put it at the bottom. So eventually, I mean, when the water rises up and all the good stuff gets into, it'll be hard to notice the difference. So that way we kept all the rock that we originally got to do all the shells and everything. So this is it's gonna be about 3 feet over here, but this turned out to be like about 6 feet, or a little bit larger. So as you guys can see now, here we have the intake bay, and I always like to use a skimmer now because I feel like all the debris accumulates in the surface and nobody cleans it. They let it sink to the bottom. So having a skimmer to the side, it'll pull it into it, and then he'll be able to control it. So we're gonna have 3 pumps over there. 2 are gonna be running 24/7, and the other pump is gonna be just for extra flow. Right in that area we have a wetland. Right here, right now, we're digging for our overflow. So we're gonna put a 4-inch pipe right there, set it to the bottom, daylight it, and the other side right here. So we got some irrigation, we cut it, we're gonna later connect it. So we dig in this trench, and then we have to dig another trench, and we were checking down by the wheelbarrow. That's where the
The work was brutal. Some days the heat made it feel impossible. Other days the relentless mud and water made us question whether we'd ever finish. But we kept pushing. 30 intense working days. That's what it took, and every ounce of effort was worth it. At the end of it all, we stood back and took it in. What was once a murky, unstable mess had transformed into a stunning, thriving ecosystem. This wasn't just another pond, it was a masterpiece. The best part? It will only get better with time as nature takes over and blends our work into something truly breathtaking. We watched the water flow smoothly over the intake bay, saw the filtration system quietly doing its job, and felt the energy of the space shift. It was no longer a stagnant, forgotten pond. It was alive. This was more than a job. It was a challenge, a grind, and ultimately a triumph. One we won't forget anytime soon. Some projects test your limits. This one did that and more. It reminded us why we do what we do. The sweat, the struggle, the late nights and early mornings, they all led to something extraordinary, and that's what makes it all worth it.